Hello Vandana Shiva.
Hello.
Thanks to you for being here with us today.
My pleasure.
So this congress is about men's health and planet's health. You are an ecologist, a writer, and a feminist activist. You also received the Right Livelihood Award in 1993. And this congress highlights the link between humans and nature. And you called your conference Planet Health is Men's Health. What did you want to express through this title?
You know, it's now nearly 5 decades that I've dedicated my life to protection of our lovely Mother Earth. And as time has passed, every study of mine has shown that whenever we harm the Earth, we also harm ourselves because we are not separate. So we have a short 200-year period of mechanistic thought, of industrial thought, 100 years of medicine as warfare that has given us both the planetary diseases of climate change, species extinction, water depletion, soil erosion, and all the diseases we see in human beings, because the two are connected. When we harm the earth, we harm ourselves.
Well, do you think this link that we were talking about and that you were talking about right now between humans and nature has been broken at some point, and can it be fixed? Can it be, I don't know, do you think there is some hope to restore this link?
Well, the first thing is we are part of nature. We were only separate in our minds. So it's the healing of the mind and our paradigms and our worldviews that is the most important. And I think that is happening. I see so much change taking place in young people's thinking, who are rejecting the old systems because the old systems are rejecting them. It's a worldview which has said 99% of human beings don't matter for the future. Now, never has a species said, the future of my species doesn't matter. It's the 1% who are destroying both the planet, our economies, our democracies, our health, that are saying this. So the main thing is we have to fix what's gone wrong with the mind, that we are not separate from nature, we are part of nature. The second is all the tools that were created for war against nature and also ended up being war against our health. They are tools of a very recent time of human history and human evolution, and they're in the hands of a very few people. Let me give you a simple example. My work over the last 35 years has been on ecological farming because I realized that the chemical industry that came out of war invaded into agriculture, made it look like you couldn't grow food without pesticides and herbicides and chemical fertilizers. Today, these chemicals are 75% of the problems the planet faces. Whether it is 50% of climate change comes from industrial farming. The desertification of soils comes from industrial farming. 93% biodiversity erosion comes from this industrial farming. The same system has given us problems. But the industry that sells the poisons in farming is the same industry that sells pharmaceuticals. And if you look at it today, the situation is that poison cartel, I call it the poison cartel, that grew out of Hitler's Germany. That was the IG Farben, that was the Mobe, Monsanto and Bayer, have merged again as Bayer Monsanto. The Dows and DuPonts that came out of war are merging again as Dow and DuPont. Syngenta, ChemChina, are becoming the third in this new cartel. So the same companies, there are 3 of them, they want to destroy our agriculture with poisons, and they want to destroy our health with basically a wrong understanding of how the body works and how the health works and what gives us well-being, just so they can sell a few more lethal recipes which are creating more disease than they're solving. Iatrogenesis now is known to be a problem, antibiotic resistance is known to be a big emergent disease. So everything they've pushed has first given the health problems to the earth, given us diseases, and then they make their profits. So the toxics give us cancers, toxics in agriculture, toxics in our food. Look at the story of glyphosate right now. Glyphosate and Roundup, known to be a carcinogen. Monsanto's trying to continue to sell it. Then who brings the medicine when you have cancer? Bayer, Monsanto, the same fellows. So for them it's profit, profit, profit limitlessly. And for the planet and people, it's losing health. It's now time for people and planet to realize we are one, and for us to realize we can do without the poison cartel, but we cannot do without the earth.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you on behalf of young people, because it's quite rare now these days to hear people actually being joyful and hopeful for young people. So this is very pleasing to hear, thank you. And so for everybody, do you have any life advices or philosophical thought that you would like to share with the people watching us today?
What I've learned over the many years is that we are living in a very false economy that pushes us to do very costly things and then gets us into crisis. So farmers are in crisis because costly chemicals, costly machines, costly debt is driving small farmers off the land. In India, 300,000 Indian farmers have committed suicide. At the same time, healthcare has become such a big drain on people's economy. And wherever there are public health systems, they're being privatized because the profit makers want even the diseases they have created to be a new market, the hunger they have created to be a new market. So I feel it's very, very important to look into the future and say, we are not going to allow the 1% to rule us. We are not going to allow the poison cartel to poison us. First of all, our bodies have healing capacity, and the earth has rejuvenation capacity. So I work in ecological farming. Our water levels have come up 70 feet. Our pollinators have gone up 6 times. Our productivity is so high that we could feed 2 times India's population if we did agriculture that gets rid of poisons and makes peace with the earth. At the same time, we're now realizing 75% of all diseases are related to toxic food, grown with toxic chemicals, because the gut is now being recognized as the main source of health and the main source of disease. So there's new talk about the gut microbiome, just a decade-old talk. We forgot about it. Ancient systems of knowledge like Ayurveda know it. The gut needs only good food. It doesn't need the debt for $500,000, which is what the allopathic medicine gives us, or what the drug industry gives us. So there are 3 simple issues for me. We have to bring back biodiversity, because biodiversity is health. Biodiversity is health of the planet, it's the health in the soil, it's the health in our food, it's the health in our gut. That's what makes health and well-being. Second, we have to get rid of poisons in our food and the dependence on the pharmaceutical industry in our healthcare, and all the false projections they make of what causes disease and what's a true cure. The third, very important, which has been my life struggle for the last 31 years, and in India at least, we made sure that basic things like seeds are not inventions, they shouldn't be patentable. Medicines should not be the hands of the poison cartel, because the more expensive they are and the more profits they make, the more they push the diseases that allow them to sell it. So we make cancer drug for 10,000 rupees. Bayer wanted a monopoly to sell it for 200,000 rupees. Now with that kind of profit making, of course they want patents. But patents should be for real inventions and real cures. And the real cures we need now are for health and well-being. The industrial food system is so costly for the planet and people. Costs farmers too much, which is why farmers are leaving the land. It costs the earth too much. I'll give you an example. Indian farmers now are getting 10 rupees for a 50 kilogram sack of potatoes. 50 kilograms. Pepsi sells potato chips, 50 grams for 20 rupees, 20,000% difference. And are the potato chips healthy for us? No. So here's a system that we can do totally without, which means we reclaim our land, we reclaim our agriculture, we reclaim organic farming, we reclaim agroecology, we reclaim good eating. We eat real food, not the junk food. We eat poison-free food, not the poison food. These are the solutions, and this is also where we can rebuild community, rebuild society, rebuild democracy, and find a place for the last species and the last person.
Well, Vandana Shiva, thank you very much for this message and your solutions that you brought with you today, and thanks to our viewers.